Well, this week held new developments in cases involving Colorado officers. First, Clear Creek County is ready to settle an excessive force case against Andrew Buin. He is the deputy facing second-degree murder charges for the shooting death of Christian Glass. The excessive force case is from May of 2019, though. Video shows Buin tackling a man waiting for court. A lawyer for the Glass family says it shows Buin has a history of excessive force. And Fort Lupton officer Jordan Steinke appeared before a judge this week. The officer left a woman in the back of a patrol car that ended up getting hit by a train. Steinke faces 2 felony charges from that September crash, and the woman, Yareni Rios Gonzalez, survived but is going through intensive therapy. She's also scheduled to appear in court virtually today on charges of felony menacing. A Platteville officer is also charged in that case. And we want to talk about both of these cases with our 9 News legal expert, Whitney Traylor, joining us here this morning. Whitney, good morning to you. A lot to break down, obviously, in these cases. So the officers are facing charges in both these cases. In Clear Creek County, a grand jury was used, but not in the case involving the Fort Lupton and Platteville officers. I guess the question here is, why was the grand jury used in one but not the other?
Right, and it's a question. In both of these cases, there was so much attention brought to it, and so the DA, they're sometimes faced with a tough decision when they're charging officers because they have to work with officers in their everyday cases. And so sometimes to show objectivity, the DA will say, hey, we're going to put it with the grand jury. Sometimes they say, well, we want to involve the community, and so that it's not just their decision. But either way, here in both cases, charges were ultimately brought, even though the one was the grand jury.
Yeah, it certainly. And I would also like to point out that it kind of seems like we're seeing more cases of police officers being charged criminally. Is this something we can expect more of as we continue?
Well, I think we are going to see more of that for a couple of reasons. One, there's now across the nation, there's more body cams. So obviously the video is going to highlight some of these things. There's also more laws around police accountability, such as what we have in Colorado, where officers can be liable for not intervening when they see somebody doing something. So yes, I think we are going to see more of those just because of the video. But the issue is it's really difficult to prosecute police officers for obvious reasons, what they do. But you're seeing more and more of those but these 2 cases were completely extreme. I mean, this was really egregious in both cases.
Let's zone in on just one of these cases. Let's talk about Christian Glass's case. His parents want to see more of the officers that were involved charged, or see even more charges brought forward. What is the likelihood we could see something like that happen?
There could be more charges. In that case, it was interesting, though, because obviously the exchange lasted for 70 minutes and there were multiple units. There was the Colorado State Patrol and a number of units. Some came in and at the Colorado State Patrol, the sergeant said, look, has he committed a crime? If not, then keep it moving. So here, what you could see is because of that 70-minute standoff and things continued to escalate, if you watch the video, some may be charged for failing to intervene and trying to de-escalate the situation. So there could be more charges.
Sure. And so some people might say, because of our extensive coverage on both of these cases, they might feel that we're picking on the police and really only highlighting whenever there's any wrongdoing here. For anybody that might share that view, Whitney, kind of give us some context here of why coverage like this is important, though.
No, it's a great point, and I could understand people could say, oh, the police are being under attack and this kind of thing. But the police, they are the overseers of the community. They have such an important role that there needs to be a high standard. They need to be held to a high standard. I mean, to whom much is given, much is expected. And so the role that they play, and whether it's now we need more training, or they need to be paid more, or more education, or defunding the police. There's all these different things, and defunding the police is just putting resources in different areas. But we have to look at policing, because these cases, I mean, the Christian Glass, I just empathize with those parents. As a parent, I can't even imagine seeing, watching that. I hope they didn't watch the video, but I don't know how they couldn't. So, it may seem like police are in disfavor right now, and to some extent that is true. And it's a we have to figure it out, because there is going to be police. There has to be some form of policing in the community, but These
Has to be met with accountability.
yeah, for sure. And that's why we passed the police accountability bill here in Colorado. And there may be charges on that because no one stepped in as it continued to escalate, particularly in the Christian Glass.
Absolutely. Well, that extensive coverage will continue, of course, as these cases evolve, and we'll bring you back and to discuss that even more. Whitney, thank you so much.
Good to be here.
Let's get